Bombing. Episode
You
1.
doing the bombing intro over there?
Yes, I'm trying to do the fucking bombing intro. Could you not, please?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I couldn't hear you.
You knew I was doing it, I felt like.
No,
Can I just do it? Can I just do it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, you always do it.
Yeah, and I'm
I
trying.
never get to do it.
Would you like to do it?
I mean, I could do it.
Well, then come do it.
I'll give it a shot.
Whatever, dude.
Here.
You know how to do it?
Yes. Check this out. All right. You center it, right?
Yes.
Blending episode. What?
That's not what it's called, man.
I'm pretty sure it's called blogging.
No, it's bombing podcast. You know the name. You're on the podcast.
Beleggering episode 119.
That's not even the right fucking number.
Well, then how about you? How about you?
It's not
just
even
do
the right fucking number, bro.
How about you just do it?
No, just say the name and then say the episode number. Just
All right.
Try it again.
All right.
Try it again. It's not hard. This is bullshit, man.
Bombing episode 120.
120?
Or 120? That doesn't really matter that much.
It's not 120. It's not a number and another number. It's one number.
Yeah, see what I gotta deal with here? Or like, I'll just do the intro.
Can you just do the fucking intro already? Fuck.
Bombing episode 120.
Yeah, yeah,
It's pretty solid, right?
that was pretty good.
All right, tight.
That's pretty good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you over there.
No, that's all good.
All right.
Just editing right now, you know. You know how it goes.
This is such a cute apartment.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so glad you like it.
What's the dollar from?
That's the first dollar I made doing stand-up.
But like, what was the?
I think it was a show at Boulevard.
I think it was.
They paid you in cash.
No, see, that's the sad part. They Venmoed me, so it was just a dollar I had in my wallet. And I was like, this is the first dollar.
First
still
one.
counts.
It's not as like sentimental as like a real first dollar, but still,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming here.
Yeah.
Elise and Steph Hawkins.
Hell yeah.
Thank you very much for episode 120. That's big episode.
Yeah.
That's
I'm real
big.
proud. I remember, what was I here for? 45 back in the day? That
Yeah,
was
so-
my first one.
You were real in the beginning, back when we were still doing it in the booth. We tried to cram 3 people into one booth.
Terrible idea.
Yeah.
The booth is too small for even 2 people to sit at.
It took a lot. Yeah, it took a lot of bad podcasts to realize that if someone's coming on, we got to move it out into the living room. But yeah, the rock bottom bombing episode.
Yeah.
This is big. This is really big.
The collab everyone was asking for.
They were. People would email us. They're like, when's the rock bottom bombing collab? I'm like, it's coming soon. Don't worry. Just relax. Jesus Christ.
Highly anticipated.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, y'all's rock bottom show was so fun. Your first show ever. It sold out, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. We loved the concept of your show so much because it wasn't like a normal stand-up, and like, you know, all our friends were there obviously, but it was a nice break from like hearing material and just hearing stories. And then Hayden brought this up while we were sitting in the crowd. It brought up all these stories where I was like, oh, that's a thing, that's a bit that I never even thought about making into a bit. And it was a fucking killer show.
Yeah, we spent the entire time in the back of the room just reliving the worst moments of our life, being like, "No, I could go on stage with this. This might work." No, but it was a really cool slant because like Ryan was saying, if everyone just went up and did material, it's like we know each other's shit. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have been as entertaining.
Exactly. And I think it's like a good muscle to build as well, because like stand up, yes, it's jokes, but you're taking the audience along on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all know me, I love to get vulnerable against the audience as well. I'll do it time and time again. But I feel like it's just such a good muscle to build because it can just make your set so much more interesting. So then you can find the little nuggets and jokes within that. But yeah, good rapport for the audience.
Where did the idea of like a trauma dumping show come from? Because I haven't seen that before.
I remember at one point I remember Nick asked me one time at, what is it? The one with the dog, the bar with the dog.
Oh, Idle Hour.
Idle hour. That's what I always call it. Idle hour. I was at Idle Hour and Nick was asking me like what my style is, where I see myself in stand-up in terms of like the jokes I tell. And I tell him that I really like storytelling, and I like when people come up to me afterwards and are like, I really identify with that joke you did, like, been there, blah, blah, blah. Like, it makes me feel really good. And I remember, too, I thought, like, if I were to ever produce a show, what would be a show that's like Steph made this, and I was like, fucking rock bottom, trauma dumping, getting vulnerable, but making people feel not alone.
It's a great name too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's because fucking rock bottom isn't something you hit just once.
Yeah.
Which, you know, all these comics can attest to it. You hit rock bottom multiple times at that
Rock
show.
bottoms, plural.
Yeah.
many different rock bottoms. And it's funny, like I felt like an amazing like connection to all the comics. Like I knew them a little bit more than I did just seeing their act. It was like, oh yeah, we're all fucked up and we've fucking gotten hammered and fucking said shit we shouldn't have, and we've all done shit like that. It was fun.
And like, not to be like a nerd about it, but in terms of comedy, I think one of the things that makes it so special as a medium is how it can make you relate to other people, like on a human level, to feel understood and related to. That's just the magic of it. So I feel like with that specific like storytelling, it can make, you know, the audience feel that way.
Yeah.
And it transcends just comedy, but it's just connection.
Totally.
Which I really liked.
It's also the one comedy style that people aren't really marketing on right now in terms of show styles. We're seeing a lot of like roast shows and crowd work shows and improv shows. Yell something out and they'll just do it off the cuff, but you're not seeing a lot of like, come here and tell a real story, come here and tell real shit. I don't want to say we're the first, we might be.
I haven't
don't know.
seen one like it.
I know that there's also, I think it's like the ego death mic where you have to tell an embarrassing story or do karaoke. And again, like I feel like the vibe of that was, I mean, I haven't been in whatchamacallit. This is all just you know, I haven't been out of context, but from what I heard, it's like, all right, crazy story. Wow, that was crazy. But I feel like with Rock Bottom, a part of it is like a self-aware, self-deprecating show where you can also just be like, whatever, I've fucking been there, I'm a mess.
Yeah.
And we all are, you know what I mean? It's just owning it.
It's very relatable, and it's funny to see people's confidence to tell a story like that, where you're really putting yourself out in the line there.
And the other thing is
embarrassing.
like I don't have a single story in my act. I never have. It's usually like just jokes strung together. So, and a lot of the people that went up, they're not really kind of known for that either. And so it was really cool to like see them tackle two things at once, like be vulnerable with the audience and try to do like a story up on stage. They're not really well known for. That was neat.
Yeah, I feel like Wendy did a great job of doing that. Our headliner
Killed it. Wendy Wilkins.
She ruined that view from the Comedy Store for me, by the
Yes,
way,
she
because
did.
now every time I see
Can I tell you?
what
We were at the store literally last night for Emmy YK's roast, which she won, by the way. Congrats, Emmy YK.
Congrats.
Wendy Wilkins.
And Wendy was there, and I was there with Mason, and Mason like went up to Wendy and was like, "Wendy, which room?
Yeah.
Pointed out on the building." and she fully stood there and was like, "Okay, it's like up over here, but it's around the building. It's not like on this side."
Yeah.
She was so proud
I
of
think she
it.
said 13th floor.
13th floor. And then we were walking down the street to Saddle Ranch, and Mason stopped, turned around, and counted up the building and was like, "That one."
That floor. Right there.
I need to know exactly which one.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of knowing, you know.
Now, Wendy Wilkins is hilarious. She's been on the podcast, and she knocked that out of the fucking park. It was such a great story, and I'd never heard that before.
No one bombed. It was so
Yes.
nice. It's, you know, because sometimes you do a show and someone goes up and they're not that great. Everyone did a really good job. I think you had the hardest time as the cold open, but I don't think you did a bad job at all.
I don't think so either.
Because where were we, Norms? And you were like, if anyone was close to a bomb, it was me. But I don't think you bombed.
I don't think so either.
Like I get like a dysphoria from like how I perform on stage. Like, oh, I like did so fucking bad. Everyone's like, you literally didn't.
Yes,
But
yes.
I think it's because I was very nervous for the show because, you know, my dad was in town.
Uh-huh.
I was like trying to put it together. So I had to scrap a lot of my material because a lot
I
of
was
my
going to say, wild move having your dad there.
Oh, well,
that was
okay.
awesome.
You know what? He was in town, and and I was like, I'm not just gonna move the show because my dad's in town. In fact,
And you're not going to not invite him.
exactly. So I had to, but I had to scrap a lot of my material because a lot of my material is based on the fact that my dad's autistic, and it gives me very unique daddy issues. I'm not about to do that set when he's came across the country.
Yeah.
So I was doing like new material it was new material. My dad was in the audience, and I was very nervous. So I feel like I had some things working against me, but it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
Yeah, but it's still better than that silent car ride home with your dad afterwards. Like,
So,
about those jokes, Steph.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
My dad came to 2 of my comedy shows, and after the second one, he was like, sweetie, maybe we should support this from afar. Like, that was exactly what he said. He was like, I love you, but we're not going to come to these anymore.
That's actually kind of sweet, though.
Yeah.
That's better than stop. That's at least it's like I support you, but you do your thing.
Yeah.
I'll be over here.
Yeah, that's very my dad. Love my dad. Hey, Dad, he's not watching this.
I would never bring our parents to one of our stand-up shows.
No, I wouldn't want to.
No, I think it'd be.
Oh, Wendy can't come. Wendy can't hang.
No, they would love to come.
Yeah,
but I feel like it might. I don't want to be up there and have this thought in the back of my head, like a governor. Like I gotta govern what I say.
Mom's watching. Like some creepy little voice.
But yeah, you didn't bomb. But I get that though. I had that just the other night.
That's good to know.
There's difference. The word bombing. There's so many different levels to bombing.
Ryan got up at set of the night last Sunday.
Yeah.
Up in the belly room at the Comedy Store.
Oh yeah.
And had a totally fine set. And I was sitting like he was getting off stage, and we went back into the green room. He just had this like look on his face. He's like, dude, I just bomb?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you didn't. He goes, are you sure? I was like, yeah. I had to like grab him by the shoulders,
Yeah.
shake him like a bit mentally.
And then I calmed down and I was like, oh yeah, no, that wasn't a bomb. It was one of those sets where it was just good.
Yeah.
And nothing more, nothing less. So it was just one of those. It was like good. Nowhere close to a bomb, but like nowhere close to a kill. Just one of those weird, like I don't really know how to feel about that set.
Like sometimes
It was just fine,
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
and then I beat myself up. I'm like, I'm a piece of shit. I suck. All that.
like sometimes I'd rather have either a bomb or a kill. 'Cause
Yes.
in between, you're like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With a bomb, like it's so blatant, so obvious, and you know what? It's so
Yeah, there's,
it's
like,
kinda
data.
Easier, yeah, data. It's kind of easier to sit with the feeling than when you're just like fine. You're
Yeah.
like,
It was just a like totally vanilla average.
Yeah. Like
Ju-
another day at work.
Yes, just a set. And yeah, like I was telling Nick, I would rather have a bomb or obviously a kill, because then there's like a story and there's data there. And but like I bombed his cold open at one of his shows a while ago, and I bombed.
That was a bomb.
I bombed.
That was a bomb.
And he was like, "You didn't bomb," and I was like, "Nick, that was a bomb."
You didn't know you were gonna cold open till you got there, though.
No, I didn't. I didn't know until Nick came up to me, and he said, "Hey, by the way, I want you to cold open." I was like, "What?" And then he walked directly on stage and started the show.
Yeah.
And not an excuse, but still, it
Yeah,
was
he has
just
a
one
habit
of
of doing that.
Yeah, he does.
Nick loves the last minute spot.
And
Yeah.
it's only to Ryan. It's like Ryan, Chris Keen, and sometimes Wyora, and sometimes maybe Clayman. But like, you guys are in this little rat pack of like, if you're in the room and Nick or Dante or Titoni's in there and they're in charge, you're gonna do time
Yep.
whether you like it or not.
Yep.
Buck up, bitch. You're getting up there.
Oh yeah. No, every time Hayden and I go to one of each other's shows, we know that the other one of us is getting up.
Yeah.
Like there's no getting around it.
Yeah, it's a neat privilege unless like, you just had like a shit day.
Yeah.
You woke up a little too hungover. You're just like, fuck.
Yeah,
You
you're
get
just-
a lot of shit to do tomorrow, and you're like, I do not want to fucking do this.
Yeah, you're not in stand-up mode.
Yeah.
You didn't think that you're gonna get on stage tonight.
but like that's the best part. Like sometimes, because it really like gets you to get up there, and be like, all right, let's see what I can do. Oh, you probably do crowd work too when you do those kinds of things.
Yeah. If I have time.
Exercise.
If I have time, or if I'm an idiot, I'll just dive into a bit and it sucks. And then I'm like out of time. A minute is tough, man.
Yeah.
I would rather do 10 minutes. I'd rather do 20 minutes than 1 to 2 minutes. It's like no time to set some shit up.
I've been feeling that lately, especially with set of the night.
Mhm.
Because now I'm like, I don't know if because like with my new material, I've been like kind of veering more towards just stories, hence the rock bottom theme. And like, there's no way to tell a story with 2 minutes out of context. You know what I mean? And
Nope.
like,
Yeah.
yes, I should probably have jokes that are like but I'm also like, this just doesn't feel like the most conducive way.
Nah.
It just feels more like Dance Monkey Dance.
Yep.
I don't feel very...
Because in terms of like proper timing and stuff, you really only have time to get 1, maybe 2 jokes in, unless you're Sean Zepp.
Yes, yeah. Then you get 40.
And then you get just all the jokes you've ever written in your life. But it's one of those things where it's like, no matter how many jokes I've written, I can't narrow down all of those jokes to my absolute best 2, and then go up at the store and go, here are my best 2 jokes.
Because they never fit together properly. Because
Nope.
like
No.
one's a minute and a half, and then the other's a minute. And you're like, well, now I'm over,
Yep.
and then you run the light and they yell at you.
Yep.
So yeah, it's rough putting those together.
And I've got some jokes that are like 45 seconds. And then another one that's like a minute 20.
Yeah.
And it won't, and then you speed through the joke because you don't want to run the light, but then that
Yeah.
fucks the joke up.
Yep.
It's all, the whole, but when you have like time, you take your time and you're like, oh, I'm chilling. I'm fine.
I have like 4 or 5 that I know fit together. Like, if it's like a 3-minute club spot, I was like, I'll just do like these 2. If it's a 2-minute club spot at the store, I'm just like, all right, I got these. Because I used to like stress out about it. Like I'd sit there, like staring at my notes, having a fucking seizure before I went on
Yeah.
stage. And then
Yes.
now it's like locked and ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
The least stressful mics now are those like the improv, the store ones.
He killed at the improv.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I fucking cleaned up. I cleaned house, guys.
Hell yeah.
That's
An actual kill.
that was so fun. No callback. That's fine. Not super bitter about it.
Oh.
But yeah, it was just it was perfect. Every joke worked. I timed it out perfectly. It was exactly 3 minutes.
They got big laughs.
But the joke that I was planning to close on is the one about suicide. And I went on like the last third, and like 5 other. It had become a through theme as a joke throughout the mic of like people had jokes about suicide. And so when I was like the last one to go on and close with that, it like how all that momentum building up behind it and just fucking crushed.
Hell yeah.
Who was the dude that gave the compliment? I'm blanking on his name.
Oh, me too. Fuck.
Fucking Callahan. He's so funny. Everywhere he goes, he's so freaking funny. And we were walking back to the truck, and he pulls up and he rolls his windows down, and he called us over, and he was like, "You had the set of the night. You for sure. I thought you had the set of the night, but they gave it to some regulars." You know?
Yeah, and he was like, he was like
how that
visibly kind of, he was like mad at the judges. He was like, no, I think they passed you over on that one. That was a little fucked up. And that, from like a compliment from a comic that you actually look up to, it means way more than just killing or anything from the audience.
Yeah, or
yeah.
some callback.
Yeah.
It's like like a killer thought you deserved it, and that means more than anything, man.
Yeah, that was great. And then I was on Cloud 9 for about 6 minutes because that's how long it took to get from the improv to the grocery store where we had to run a bunch of like lame errands afterwards. And then I was like just in line. I was just like a normal person again. I was like, fuck, this
Which
sucks.
one was it?
Rock and roll.
That's a
Sunset.
grocery store?
No, Rock and Roll Ralph's.
On
Sunset Boulevard, just after La Brea.
Yeah, but you call it rock and roll?
that's
Yeah,
what it's called.
It's called Rock and Roll Ralph's. It's got the guitars on it. It says Rock and Roll Ralph's on the outside of it on the windows. You should check it out next time.
This just blew her mind.
Maybe I probably haven't seen it. What the hell?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, they got a
like-
bunch
Is it
of
the one near like Wendy's and Burger King?
It's near
Yeah.
a window. You know where it's near? It's near the Guitar Center on Sunset Boulevard.
Like, where has it said rock and roll? on
it says Rock and Roll Ralph.
Dude, this is like the Mandela effect. I don't remember.
There's a bunch of cardboard cutouts of like
Rock stars.
rock stars and Elvis and guitars and shit. That's the Rock and Roll Ralphs, man.
Because like in the 80s, all those huge bands came out of like that little part of Hollywood. Like Guns N' Roses, like all those hair metal bands. They all like lived around there. So it's got like and that's where like all the music instrument stores popped up. That's why like Sam Ash, rest in peace, they're gone. But like Guitar Center's down there. They used to have a Mesa Boogie amp store. That's Rock and Roll Ralph's, baby.
I go to that one all the time, and I think I'm just retarded because I
Think.
what?
Think.
I go to that one all the time, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about with like Jimi Hendrix and
Next time you go.
you're
I'll
gonna-
just have to look extra.
Yeah, just-
Do I need glasses?
Just
Yeah.
look around.
Just pay attention.
Steph, you're gonna have the most exciting Ralph's trip of your entire
Oh
life.
my God.
next
Who
time
would
you
have
go there.
thunk Steph doesn't pay attention?
Make a trip out of it. The next time you go to that Ralph's.
You know those photos where it's like a lamp, but then also if you like squint a little bit, it looks like tits.
I would have gone with, you know how it looks like a sunset on a beach, but then you squint and it's Hitler. Have you seen those ones?
Yes,
I've seen those.
Like
yeah.
I just gotta squint and then I'll.
Yes, just go like this. Just squint and kind of look from afar.
She just thought in big letters in the front it just said "food here."
It says Ralph's. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's the fucking.
Oh, it's not just Ralph's.
It's rock.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's the rock and roll
But
Ralph's.
anyway, just
Just blew her mind.
wildest tangent of all time. It was going from like the absolute high of like crushing at a club to like just running errands like a normal person, and then going back to our fucking tiny ass apartment. It's like I went from like top to bottom in about 30 minutes.
So
and then I was just back here again.
That's the rise and grind, baby.
No, it really is. There is like a crazy feeling of like killing or even bombing, and then just like the next day you're just like at work. And, and you're just like,
I live for that like 20 minutes after you do really well.
The day after rock bottom, I had to go into work, and the whole time I was like, I sold out a like I wasn't saying it, I wasn't walking, but in my brain I was like, bitches, I sold out a show. You don't even know. I got a big dick and you can't even see it.
No, yeah. And if people try and give you shit like that, they have no idea.
you don't even know.
I made $108 off this shit, motherfucker. Ooh.
You don't even know I just killed last night. And they're like, we need more cups. I'm like, oh, I'll get more cups. Sorry.
That's how I felt in the checkout line. Like, do you have your club rewards card? I was like, you have no fucking idea. You don't know who I am, do you?
You don't know who you're talking
in, like,
to.
Fight Club, when Edward Norton, like, after he starts getting like really into Fight Club and he shows up to work with fucking like black eyes and shit and like busted lips and he's just
and an
like,
attitude.
and he's like spitting on stuff. That's how it feels.
That's me at my job right now, trying to get fired.
But it's the exact opposite when you bomb and you show up to work and you're just like, people are like, what's wrong? You're like, it's nothing. I'm fine. Nothing.
Don't look at me.
I just bombed last night. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's real.
Yeah, you're gonna have a fun grocery trip next time.
I'm gonna have so much fun. I'm like a little concerned a little bit how I didn't like just pick up on that.
Everybody knows that.
There's guitars on the sliding doors. It's like the guitar V.
It's
I
just
get it.
Ralph's to me.
It is. Look, it is just a Ralph's. Look, here's the truth. It's an unimportant detail.
Are we the crazy ones for like having the names for because we named the different Ralphs?
No, I've heard
Yeah.
Misha call it rock and roll Ralph's.
Okay.
Everyone calls that one rock and roll Ralph's.
The one by us a block up from here, we call that shit Ralph's.
That's shit
That
Ralph's.
Ralph's fucking sucks.
It's the worst Ralph's.
And then there's another one off like La Brea, just south of Sunset.
That's weird Ralph's.
That's Weird Ralph's.
Oh, I know Weird Ralph's.
You know Weird
Yeah.
Ralph's.
I don't call it that, but I know what you're talking about.
It's the
except,
Weird
like
Ralph's.
they
That
haven't
was
they haven't
weird.
updated like the side of the walls like the other two have. They still have like the old like it looks like a Kroger still.
Yeah.
And so there's that
Everything's
weird,
in the wrong place.
Yeah, the format's flipped, so that's Weird Ralph's. Rock and Roll Ralph's is wild, and then that Ralph's I want to kill myself in.
You ever been to this Ralph's?
No.
Don't go.
Only I've been to Weird Ralph's and Rock and Roll Ralph's. Rock and Roll Ralph's. Now that it's called Rock and Roll Ralph's, I'm like really excited. It's
pretty sick.
Rock and Roll, Rock and Roll.
Pretty
You want to
sick.
hear something super sad?
Oh yeah.
So when Ryan and I first moved out here, like August 2020, the first like almost year, everything was still shut down. Like so that we comedy wise we couldn't do anything. So like the big thing we would do like once a week is go to the grocery store, and
That was our big outing.
that was how we got out of the apartment, and we got so fucking bored and like cabin fevery that we just started like going out of like we went to a Ralph's in Santa Monica. We took like a day trip to go grocery shopping. We went where's that? We went over to Glendale. We went to like one over in the valley just to be out of the house for more than fucking 45 minutes.
I think we hit even a downtown Ralph's.
That was one of our rock bottoms. That was
Those were dark times.
yeah, that was really brutal.
Dude, I do not enjoy grocery shopping at this age.
It's the worst.
When I had EBT though, I'd go to Whole Foods.
Oh my
When
god.
I was on EBT. Dude, I went to Errands one time just to see if it would work with EBT, and I got a little chicken Caesar sandwich. I miss EBT.
I feel like they could smell it on you if you walked into an Erewhon with an
Oh,
EBT
they did.
card.
I like they could tell by my vibe.
Like security would just hit you or like drag you out or something. They're like, no, none of you poors here.
Completely profile you.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't really enjoy grocery shopping now because I'm like,
No, it's the worst. It's the worst thing ever. But I'm willing to grocery shop because the worst feeling ever is an empty fridge.
Oh my God, there's nothing worse than an empty fridge.
Yeah.
You open up the cupboard, there's like half a bag of chips left. You're like, ah.
like a fucking cobweb and a little
Yeah.
spider running around.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Like, dude, seriously?
Ryan and I got an empty fridge right now, but that's only because we'll be out of town for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know what that means?
What?
We're gonna land. We're gonna have to make it all the way back here from LAX,
Don't even say it.
and then immediately have to go to shit Ralph's too, because that's the closest one. Do you understand what we just set ourselves up for?
I don't
Fuck,
wanna-
we should have done that today.
We should have hit Ralph's today.
Oh, and now we're out of time.
It's too late.
Wait, where are you guys going?
We're going back home. We're going to Nashville. It'll be nice just to get out of LA, dude. This place pisses me off sometimes.
Yeah. Not today though. I didn't have that feeling. I was like, I love LA.
It comes in waves like that.
Dude,
It does.
I go so back and forth like that. Like like Griffith Park is right up there, so we'll go hiking all the time. And like if you time it right, it's like 4:00 in the afternoon. Like sun's starting to go down. It's a clear day, no smog. You get an awesome view of the city. You're like, this place is heaven.
Yeah.
Then
you got a spot that night.
yeah, exactly. Like you have stuff to do, and then yeah, like the very next day, you're like trying to go over the hill on the 101 at like 5:00, and you're like, I'm gonna atomic bomb this whole city. This is awful.
Oh yeah.
We know you grew up close to here in San Diego.
Mhm.
Where did you didn't grow up here, did you?
Me? Oh, I did not know.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Massachusetts.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like an hour south of Boston.
So you grew up like geographically the farthest away you can get.
Yes, I
From
grew up
LA.
in the suburbs, like very much the opposite of Los Angeles. And being here, I'm so fucking grateful that I had like a normal childhood. I live in West Hollywood, on like
Quit
Edinburgh.
bragging.
What?
Quit bragging.
Rent control. No laundry. No fucking dishwasher.
We don't have a dishwasher either.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you could use your hands.
You don't need one, actually.
Like, one thing that living in that apartment taught me is, like, maybe our generation does get participation trophies. Because these
Probably.
motherfuckers are pussies. Wash your dishes yourself. Go to a laundry. Anyway, I live in WeHo. And I live near, like, the Fairfax High School. And whenever I walk by it, there's, like, a huge Fashion Nova billboard right next to it. And it's always some, like, girl with her tits out and some, like, either bikini or, like, bodycon outfit. I'm like, that is where a bunch of minors are, right? Like, it's crazy.
Well, to bring back Rock Bottom, we had Stanley Swerdlow on, dear friend of mine.
Love Stanley.
And he grew up here in LA. Not only did he grow up in LA, but he had parents in the industry, and he grew up around kids whose parents were in the industry. And that's something I just physically cannot fathom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you even wrap your noggin around, like, because his dad was the writer for, he said, Cool Runnings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you're walking into school, it's like, oh, my dad wrote Captain America. What are you going to do about it, pussy? You know, shit like that.
My dad makes printers.
That is a very autistic job.
Yeah.
Manufacturing
Wow.
printers.
What does your dad do?
My dad was in the Navy 35 years as a
Yes,
nuclear
normal.
engineer and commander.
Normal.
Normal autistic jobs for normal autistic dads. Dad, you're not autistic. You're not watching this.
Yeah, Clayman grew up out here, too. And
You can fucking tell.
and he says that he was like, I kind of wish I had like that normal childhood, because we grew up in not the suburbs. Like, what do you think when you think of suburbs? Like, every house is the same, and they're like three feet
we
apart.
grew up in the suburbs of Nashville.
Yeah, but it's different suburbs.
It's in the South, especially in Tennessee. It's different because they've got acres in between.
Yes. There's- the
Okay,
house-
I
They're
guess you're
more
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
barny.
The houses
They're
are all
more-
very different, and they're like very spaced out.
Yeah.
And technically, that's suburbs. But like,
Well, how I grew up, the houses were close together. It was like a neighborhood, and they all had like the same sort of design but different colors. Like,
yeah,
well, you know that episode of like SpongeBob when it's like Squidward, but like it's like like a bottle episode.
Yeah.
But it's just Squidward, like a universe of Squidward.
Yeah.
It's
And
his gated community.
Yeah, all the same houses. Think that, just different colors.
yeah.
All right.
That was the suburbs. It was very safe, very normal, very, modern family. It was very Goldbergs. It was very...
When did you
Very
move out
normal.
here?
I moved out here in 2022 to finish my senior year of college. It was for the fall semester, but things ended up going well, and I was dating my ex at the time, and like, I was just really liked it out here, so I just finished online, and I've been here ever since.
You started comedy out here also?
No, I did it all throughout college, but it wasn't anything like this. It was more so we had like a comedy club in college, and we had weekly open mics. So like every Thursday I would write new like 5 minutes of material, bad material at that, when you're writing 5 new minutes every week. But I just got like addicted to it. That was like my thing. Like I remember when I toured the school, like sure I was going to school for film, but I remember on the tour they showed us like this pub, and it was like literally in the cafeteria, but they said this is the stage where they do open mics, and I was like, I'm gonna be there every week, and I was, and now I'm out here.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a lot how it was back in Nashville. There was one good open mic in town, and it was every Monday night, and it was the same thing.
Everyone would show up.
You had a week to prepare every week. Now it's like 4 or 5 spots a week. It's like it's more condensed and chaos out here.
Yeah,
but it makes you better.
It does. Yeah, feels good too to like get selective a little bit about the spots you do. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, you
know
can
what I
kind of
mean?
pick and choose rather
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
than take anything I can get.
Yeah.
Yeah, if one place has been pissing you off a little bit, you get a little like a bad attitude. You're like, oh, fuck that place. I'm not going there.
I want to take a quick break from that
Yeah,
place.
fuck that. I'll drive up to haha. I don't give a fuck.
That's how you know you're desperate. You're going to haha, dude. Fuck.
Speaking
Christ.
of desperate, I got a show at Flappers on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, flappers.
Yo, what do you think of Flappers?
I can't give an opinion. I haven't been up there yet. I've never
Okay.
even been in the building.
I used to work there.
What?
You used to work at Flappers.
Dude, believe it or not, this is going to sound so fucking silly, but when I was in college, I technically had a internship there, but it was just like free labor. You know what I mean? I was working the social media. I was helping like do the light at their shows. Be like, all right, you're at 5 minutes.
Flappers seems very like old-timey, professional, like strange.
Very corporate.
Yes, corporate. We're at like the improv or especially the Comedy Store. It's more like ragtag, like inmates running the asylum kind of style.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I prefer that much more because when
Yeah.
I worked there, like it was kind of like felt almost like sterile.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Like a hospital room.
And that's not, and like, having, and at first I thought that's what it was because I was like working there a little bit and I was like, oh, this is my introduction to LA comedy. And then I went to other clubs and I was like, oh, it's supposed to be more like a,
Relax.
relaxed environment.
I get the same feeling standing in a room at Flappers that I do if I go into like a Target. It's like it's exactly the same.
Yes.
You know?
Sterile white walls. Just
Yeah.
horrible.
Oh, also we did the audition mic there one time, and not gonna name names, but this fucking robot that hosted it like made
He was a lizard.
Yeah, he was a machine, and he like made a bunch of people stick around, being like, hey, let's talk, let's get you up, like maybe we can get you some spots here, and then
We waited like an hour and a half.
after
in
an
line.
hour and a half wait, he finally got around to us, and all he tried to do was sell us stand-up classes.
Yep.
He was like, I have this great. It's a 5.
I know who you're talking about.
It's a 5-day course.
Listen,
It's an online course, and then there's some in-person classes. It's only $1 billion. It was, I think it was like $200.
It was more. It was like $500.
Yeah, so crazy amount of money, and
Stupid.
then he was like, he wrote down his information. He goes, hey, take this number. We'll give you 50% off. And I was just like,
Oh, sick.
tight. Thanks. I could have been home relaxing now, but thank God. Thank God I stuck around for your stand-up classes, dick.
Now that I remember, I did actually get paid for my little internship. They did give us a free stand-up class.
Oh, okay.
What'd you learn in a stand-up class?
That I'm funnier than everyone there. Like that's okay. That's gonna sound bad, but like
No, it's
it really was that. And I remember this is how I knew the class was bullshit because we got there and they're like, all right, we're gonna think about where we want to be in 5 years. Now, who here wants to be famous? Everybody but me raised their hand.
good.
And she was like, why don't you want to be famous? And I was like, well, I'd rather have a good body of work first than to be famous. And she goes, that's not the point. Blah, blah, blah. And she tried to correct me. And I was like, this doesn't,
You should have just walked out.
this doesn't, yeah. Well,
You want to
I-
learn?
for free.
You want to learn stand-up? Go to an open mic and bomb. That's how you'll learn stand-up.
Yeah.
And keep going back. You have to keep going back. And trust me, you'll learn. It's the hard way, but
Yeah.
it's like we were talking with we were talking with a lot of the Emerson group of kids, and they were talking about like paying like comedy college classes, these courses.
Yeah, like college level courses.
Yes.
That they take to, and it's like you could pay $5 a couple times a week and do it for
Yeah.
basically
Yeah,
free.
A
I
lot
don't-
cheaper and a lot quicker.
I don't trust it.
No.
No.
I don't trust it one bit.
Also, anyone that's teaching stand up, it's like you're probably not that funny.
Because it's so subjective. That's the thing.
It's
Like
the
that's why it's
most
difficult.
subjective.
Yeah.
It's the single most subjective, and they always say those who can't teach. So it's like, and that was something that always bugged me when I was in college for musical theater. They were like, oh yeah, your professors are still working in the industry, but they're working as like directors or private tutors, or they're working as other things on set. They're not working as actors anymore. So they don't have that knowledge of what it's like to be an actor now, my age, in this industry today. And it's like, I wonder what qualifies them to teach these classes, and then all the Emerson people are going to hate this. What qualifies them to teach the classes?
They're going to agree. They're going to agree.
They probably agree.
And then how do I know that you get what you're saying? How do I know you're still active in this industry in one way or another?
If it's even relevant anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're an adult. You're teaching me some old stuff. It's like you don't even know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, I had a lot of professors like that in college who were like, this is how it worked for me and this will work for you. And I'm like, it's not 1982.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I had a history professor in college one time. Just quick story. The big map that he had on the side of his wall still had the USSR as like a country. And I was just like,
Maybe you should
maybe up. Like things have changed since the last time you learned history, dude. I just thought that was funny.
I went to school at Ithaca for film, specifically for writing, and I had a professor tell me this. Now, this was when I was in my spring semester of my senior year in my thesis class, and he told me, he goes, and we're talking about like jobs, and he goes, you can work at Starbucks and still be a writer. And I was like, fuck, man.
Doesn't sound very
Fuck.
not what I had in mind.
Fuck.
You can only learn by doing.
Yeah.
And especially with stand-up. But I was like that in school, too. I was like, this teacher's telling me about something, and I'm like, I'm a hands-on learner. I need to do the thing, and trust me, I'll catch up. I will learn the lessons and stuff. And then as far as, like, teaching how to do stand-up, there's really not much to do. It's like, I can't tell you if it was funny or not. The crowd did that.
Yeah, exactly.
We came up with like a short list of like things, like do's and do nots, but even those technically don't apply because everyone's different. But it's just like simple shit, like don't run the light.
Yeah.
You can teach that. That's teachable. You see that light, get off the fucking stage. Hold the mic at the right distance.
Yeah, you can teach like everything around stand up except for like how to write a joke.
Yeah.
That's just on you.
Yeah. I think about, because you look at the people who came out of Emerson and they're all very funny and they all obviously gained a lot of skill from there. But then I think about people like Alan Zach, who I love. Alan Zach is a polarizing person because for every person who thinks he isn't funny, there's a person who thinks he is the funniest thing that's ever lived, and he's the first one who's going to make it out of all of us. How do you put someone like him through a comedy program where he's going to have 8 different comedy professors who are all going to have a vastly different opinion of him? How is he going to leave a program like that?
You take him. I've been messaging back and forth with him this past couple weeks, and you put him in a class. Every professor would say, "Don't do that. What are you doing?"
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's
everything
crazy.
You would be telling him not to do are all the things that are getting him laughs and the things that people love the most about him.
Exactly. You can't be told what to do. You just have to do what you do, and then be conscious about it enough to make it like come across, like sell. You know what I mean?
Don't I just realize, like, it's probably would be an Alan Zach's case. Anyone that has ever said you have to learn the rules to break the rules are just mad that you broke the rules in the first place. Those stupid fucking arbitrary rules. Alan Zach never abided by those, and he does not have to.
Nope.
Does not have to.
Dude, Sean Zapp at the Comedy Store roast battle broke the rules.
Broke the rules.
And it crushed.
And he won.
It crushed.
Time's an illusion. Comedy rules are an illusion. Who gives a fuck?
We were there last night. Denzel Curry, who was on the judging panel for Sean's, was there again last night.
Nice.
Sees Mason in the green room and goes, "Where's Sean?" Mason's on the phone. He's like, "I'm on the phone with Sean. I'm trying to get him here." And Denzel's like, "Give me the phone." And so Denzel Curry takes the phone out of Mason's hands and is on the phone with Sean, trying to get him to the Comedy Store. Like,
brilliant.
This guy was so impressed by Sean's set.
Yep.
And was so like remembered him so much that he's like, "I want him to come here right now."
Yeah, it speaks for itself.
He almost paid for his Uber.
Not everybody can break the rules, though.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Like
I can't.
I truly believe if I went up and tried breaking the rules, it wouldn't come across the same.
I can never break the. Every time I try to break the rules, people go, "Why are you breaking the rules?"
Yeah.
And it's like, because they broke the rules and you said nothing.
No, it's like, no, that was them.
Do you know what it is, though? It's literal confidence.
Yes.
I admire so much how Sean carries himself in the comedy community because he's doing something so different, so alternative. I talked to him about it, and he's like, I'm trying to be... So Sean and I, we're like both bipolar, and we talk about it sometimes. And
You and Sean, really?
Me too.
Yeah. Gang.
Gang, bitch.
But he says that he's trying to be like mania personified, and he carries that with him off stage. He's just so confident. Like, there's no denying how cool John Sapp is whenever he walks into a room, because he just fucking owns it. So I think that's what really does it. If you're going to break the rules, then you got to break them and not be afraid to do it, because then nobody can tell you otherwise. And that's what he does, and that's why he does it great. Same with Alan Zach.
Yeah.
He does not give a flying fuck. He just does exactly what he wants to do.
And it works, and it works.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else who could really have gone up at Roast Battle and just blatantly cheat. He cheated, by the way. And he admitted that on the pod.
There are 2 rules at Roast Battle. 3 jokes each.
Yep.
Don't run over your time.
Yep.
And right off the bat, he was like,
Just
10 jokes.
Rapid fire, and then props, and then just a complete disruption.
It's a complete power move
to
be able to do that. He said, fuck it. Because also, when you're on stage, sometimes I think you forget, like, you do have the power. You have the microphone. People are quite literally looking up at you. And he seized that moment. He took advantage of it. I loved it.
No, it was fucking brilliant.
You're talking about how, like, having the power on stage. A big part of that, which was like a hard lesson for me to learn, because I get angry very easily, is like when not to like lay into someone in the crowd. A good example was like when I was at the Improv last night, my opening joke was about like RFK Jr. And as soon as I said his name, just this old bitch in the front row just yelled out "brain worms," just like that.
What?
And it was at like a pause in the joke where like I had a second to decide, like, am I gonna lay into this bitch or am I just gonna like keep on chugging?
Yep.
And the joke held up so well that I was like, I can get past this and no one will remember that she said anything. Whereas like in the past I would have been like, oh, brain worms, okay, and then
unloaded.
And then the rest of the set would have just been missile after missile at this lady. So a little bit of...
And it would have thrown the set.
Yeah, and I would have bombed. But like a little bit of restraint when you're up there goes a lot farther, I think, than just being like bombastic all the time.
Yeah, being above it.
Still, fuck that bitch, though. She sucks.
Yeah, fuck that bitch.
She sucked. I got so enraged when she started talking. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's another thing. Just don't heckle.
Yeah.
You can teach that to some people. Don't speak unless like spoken to.
Dude, that like one girl at the fucking Batcave Halloween show. Do you remember her?
You mean that bag of wine in the back?
I was trying to think
I do.
about what show it was. I was sitting here like, was it Aldous' show? No, well, you're right. It was the Batcave show.
Batcave.
Oh my God.
Did we find out who that was? Not to name names? Because I don't know. I
don't know who that was.
I don't know who that was. And she wouldn't dare show face again at that place.
Good,
after how she behaved.
Please fucking don't.
But also it was like kind of funny. Like we're all like, oh, like that was, but like low key though, like it's kind of like it kind of added to the night.
Yeah, if like 3 comics told her to shut
but
the hell
here's
up.
the thing, it was at her expense. Like we all came together in this loving embrace of hating her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it added a little spice. You know what I mean? A little something.
I got an interesting peek into what it's like to be Sean Zapp.
Ooh.
When we imitated Sean and Mason on that show at the Batcave.
Yes, that was such a good act.
And that was so fun to try to become him for like 4 or 5 minutes or whatever. And it's tough being Sean, I'll admit. Being Sean is tough. You gotta be super prepared with the props. And no sense of like structure. It's just chaos mode. You go straight into chaos mode.
The jacket with the drunk new joke stickers you put on it.
Yes.
That was perfect. They should make a Sean Zapp Halloween costume at fucking Spirit Halloween.
They should. They should. Just a leather jacket littered.
A blonde wig.
Yep. Drunk new joke
A
stickers.
backpack, and then lots of
guitar.
9/11 iconography that can be pulled out of
Yes.
Yeah.
a backpack.
What was your first set like? Your first ever time on stage?
Ooh.
Good or bad?
Bad. It was in high school. It was like a little. I only did stand up. I did stand up once in high school when I was a junior at like this open mic called Coffee House. It was like with this bunch of theater kids that I did theater with. They would do music. They would do like I was also like did improv for like my senior year. So we would do like improv games up there. So essentially it was like flashback, but for North Attleboro theater kids.
Okay, all right.
That's essentially what it was like.
The same people, the same.
Yeah, same people. They're all friends. So I did my first ever set, and it was bad delivery. I was like speeding through it, and I did it as if I was reciting like a script monologue kind of thing. I didn't do it right, but I was getting some laughs because I had like friends in the audience. But there is this one kid. I forget his name, and I want to name drop him just so we can feel bad about it. I think it was Arlo. Was his name Arlo? It might have been. But I remember he goes, "You're a normie," and everyone went, because I was like, this was, when was this? This was like this was like 2018. So that was like, you know what I mean? Like a phrase that's like, "You're a normie." And I was like, oh my God. It was so like humiliating. And then I did.
You got heckled your first set?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, how bad did it throw you off?
Not really. I just kept going. I was
That's
like,
good.
okay. And because the thing is, I didn't like prepare to take any pauses in my little script I had. So I didn't have delivery down yet. So I just kept going.
I'm in the same category as Yodel Boy and SpongeBob. I'm pretty legit now, so
You're a normie.
I'm a meme, and it's all I ever wanted in life. And
But that was my first one. And then I would do like kind of improv-y stuff. I remember one time I did karaoke too at the open mic thing. And
How did that go?
And I can't sing, so I just did Beethoven's Fifth, and that was the bit. Like I just sat there.
Oh, like and let Beethoven's Fifth play in the background.
Yeah, and I just
because
sat
there's no
there.
words.
And then I was like, oh, my voice is kind of tired. I got to cut this one short. And then I just would sit down.
That's a pretty good. At least that's clever.
One time, Steph and I went to karaoke. And she wanted to do the song Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. And she begged me. And she went, "Elise, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it." And then we get up there, and not only do I have to sing basically the whole thing by myself, but all the parts where she's supposed to sing, she doesn't know the words.
I just knew the wake me up part. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
All she wanted to do,
wake me up. Like that.
she just wanted to scream that into the mic over and over again. And she just needed an excuse to do it. So she made me get up there.
But it was fun. It was so funny. And we did make a good bit out of that. Because you were like, you wanted to do the song. And I was like, hey, whatever. It was funny.
Wake
It
me
was
up
funny.
inside.
So
Can't wake up.
So it's just Elise singing, and then Steph
Beautifully at that.
Oh, thank
She's a
you.
beautiful voice.
with minutes in between, just waiting to go. Wake me up.
Yeah.
But you know how there's like the man verse where he's like, she,
You don't even know the words.
I'm not supposed to. It wasn't my part to sing. You were the one who was like, we're going to do this and I'm going to be the man.
That's hilarious.
That's great. Yeah, that was a funny time. I'm not good at karaoke. The one song that I can kind of do well is I Wish by Skee-Lo, because it requires no kind of like tune to carry. You just got to be fast. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. I wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a bat and a 6'4" Impala.
I wish I.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I wish I could sing for real.
Yeah. I can't do karaoke. It's a little too serious. You know?
I get that.
It's a little too, I can't.
I can sing.
You can't, Hayden can't sing.
I can sing pretty well, actually.
Oh, shit.
Okay, bust it out.
Not to gloat or anything.
Oh yeah, because you did a kickflip yesterday. Or do it.
Just saying.
Do it.
I can sing and kickflip, and my girlfriend goes to a different school.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make a drink, fellas.
All right.
One
Yeah,
second.
break time.
I need one too.
Break time.
I will say, for a guy apartment, it's impeccable in here. And I don't know if it's just because your frontal lobes are really developed. Because you're what, like over? Are you both 26 and up?
26 or 30.
So yeah, your frontal lobes are there. So your apartment looks really nice.
Thank you. We've always been really clean. Yeah. Also, the first guy's apartment too is other comics apartments. That's a very low bar to start at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why you if you have a clean space, you have a clean mind, and we've always lived that way, and it's always worked.
Yeah. My room reflects my chaos, which is I don't even have a bed frame still.
What?
It's a long story, and it's not for the pod.
Well, no
It's
no
some
need to share.
bullshit.
Ryan and I.
When you turn the camera off, I could tell you maybe.
Ryan and I had twin mattresses on the floor, no bed frame or box spring for the longest time.
Yeah.
That was depressing.
Yeah, now we just share a king.
How much space that would save, actually?
It could a lot more room for activities.
Yeah, we should start doing that.
We should get bunk beds.
You guys have your own rooms, right? Or do you share a room?
Share room.
One bedroom.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you guys that tight?
Yeah.
We lived. He's known me his entire life.
Well, what do you do for sexcapades? Just kick someone out?
They just don't.
Yeah, just no.
You think they have sex?
This is
This is the castle.
Yeah.
Or do you do
No.
it at the booth?
no, not at the booth.
No, you can
Like
barely.
you get to sit down and they're under the table just.
We told you 2 people can't fit in the booth.
It's a one-person booth only. Yeah, no, this is just.
That's really cute.
This is our spot.
You know, I used to share a room with my sisters growing up. And granted, I do like having my own space, but there is something sweet about, you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like when you're so used to sharing a room, it's not a problem.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what we did. Like we always shared a room growing up, so like
Yeah.
it wasn't like a big leap or anything.
Yeah.
But also, we're broke. We're fucking brokies, dude. And LA's expensive.
No,
2-bedroom apartments are not cheap.
Like, I'm really glad you have that kind of, like, brotherhood where you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll share a room.
Oh, it's the best. It's a power up. It's my favorite thing on earth.
Yeah, I couldn't share an apartment, even like a 2-bedroom, with pretty much anyone I know out here.
Now we're on the same page
Yeah.
all the time.
I like how that promotes a bros before hoes thing. This city's tough.
Yep.
It's good that, you know, you got that little. Yeah.
Well, there's 2 more of us. We have 2 little brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're twins.
They're twins, but they don't look the same. They're
twins.
Siamese.
Fraternal.
Siamese.
What?
No, sorry. What's the other one? Fraternal.
Fraternal.
That's what I meant.
I'm fraternal. I'm a triplet.
That's right.
Yeah.
How's the relationship with the sisters?
It's good. They all live an hour from home, and then I live across the country. So obviously I don't see them as much.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know me, you guys. I'm crazy. So growing up, I was a little Tasmanian devil, the scapegoat at times, as were some of my other like sisters at times. We went through phases on which sister we hated the most and blamed everything on. But a lot of the times it was me, because I was a crazy little thing. But
Yeah, every
good.
one of your Instagram profile pictures is like you as a kid, and like every other one you have like a bloody eye or like you like ran into a table or for so you're always beat up in these pictures.
Well, I remember when I was younger, the photo we used for the rock bottom poster, it was because I fell on a bike.
Nice.
And my eye like hit the handlebar and I had like a hole in my eyelid. So when I closed my eye,
Oh, Jesus.
when I like closed my eye, you could see like my eyeball. So I got stitches, all that. But when I would go to school, teachers would be like, "Is everything okay?" And I'd be like, "I fell on a bike," and they're like, "Okay,
Sure.
okay."
Sure you did.
But yeah, my sister and I, we would fight and all that jazz. But girl fighting is different than guy fighting. Girl fighting is with your words, with your nails, a lot of pinching, a lot of hair grabbing, and sometimes biting. But it was a lot of pinching.
Biting.
Sandra was a
God.
biter. Sandra was a biter. She was a little different. Sandra was a little different.
Sandra sounds like she's got that Sigourney Weaver alien fucking mouth. Like,
Dude, Sandra is like, so there is lots of autism in my family. Sandra is the most autistic in my family. So much so. She's smart, though. She's it to her advantage. She works at MIT making $100,000 a year building radars for the Department of Defense. Is she funding the war? Maybe a little bit. But she's doing well.
Indirectly.
And her autism, I think, really helped her do that. So, but yeah, she did bite.
But you're not. But you're not biting now, you know?
No, not now.
No, it works itself out.
Yeah, it works itself out.
I
But
feel like
she did bite. She did bite.
That's hilarious.
Also, 3, that's an odd number.
Dude,
so
like
you guys
leave bruises. We're like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
3, you could always, there was always like a power advantage. Like there was 4 of us. That's an
Yeah,
easy
because
number.
you could stack them on top of each other and they would be taller than the parents.
Oh, that's right. And then put a trench coat on and sneak into an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, we would. I don't know. I don't think we'd take it out on each other really. Maybe as kids, but when parents divorced, we just got like welded together and got super tight, all of us. And that's my favorite thing on planet Earth is being in the same room with Hayden, Ian, and Brennan. That's my favorite.
That's how it is now, my sisters. Well, actually, so you can probably imagine, you know what I mean? My parents weren't perfect, so that's why I do comedy. Everyone does comedy for a reason. But my sister, my older sister, she had like mental health problems growing up, and now she works as a therapist, which is a pretty cool like full circle thing for her. But she works as a therapist, and she goes, as a licensed therapist, I can confirm that every single one of us has CPTSD, just based on our upbringing, which is that it's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. It's like many traumas over time. That
I thought the C standard for cool. But.
You know what? Yeah, cunty personality disorder. But so she was so now we like can bond over that. Or
Yes.
like we have this group chat on Instagram. We just send each other like memes about like having.
What's the name? If you can share
It's just
it.
called Sisters. But then
Okay.
I did make a group chat on like iMessage, and it's like a like a photo. I looked up CPTSD on like Google Images, and it like has a brain, and it just says a bunch of like like words in it, like withdrawn, avoidant attachment, and like just those fucking words in the brain to create the picture of a brain. That's the picture, but it's the group chat.
Ours is the Brethren Court.
The Brethren Court.
All 4 of us in a group chat. And then the one with Dad is called the Council.
The Council.
Yep.
The boys.
Yep. When you need information, you consult the Council.
What about you?
My brother and I are not close at all. He lives in Idaho, I think.
You think?
I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even know where he lives.
No one lives in San Diego anymore?
No.
Idaho, more like I don't know.
More like Idaho.
This is what the viewers come to see.
That's right. Puns. Whippy puns.
Yeah.
Tennessee. More like you're the only 10 I see.
Yo. Massachusetts, more like massive 2 shits.
Oh.
Fix those potholes, won't you?
Florida. More like bunch of waves coming in. Got him.
No, I have a friend like that from high school. He just went like MIA. We were like really close friends in high school, and then he met this chick, and then like last I heard, he disappeared. So he's in like Florida, but like the top of Florida, not like
Bad
the,
part.
not the cool bottom part of Florida.
Yeah.
Like
Like the Florida Georgia line.
Yeah, he's like up there.
Great band.
He just I haven't heard from him in a decade. He just like walked off the face of the earth.
But he started dating that new girl.
Yeah, he just started dating this chick.
Are we sure he's
Fucking
alive?
bitches, man.
Dude, look up the Jodi Arias. You guys heard of that true crime? Oh. Well, she killed her boyfriend.
The ladies do love true crime.
They do.
That's the one that I do like. I don't love true crime. That one was just kind of like Gone Girly, and I was like, that's cool. I fuck with Gone Girl. I fuck with a cold-hearted bitch sometimes.
That's the Ben Affleck one with the crazy girlfriend.
What?
The Ben Affleck movie.
Ben Affleck?
Fucking
Yeah.
I think it's
excuse me?
Affleck.
I thought it was Affleck.
I think it's a flat. Wait. No, it's Ben Affleck.
This is a bit.
Really?
Yes.
I could have sworn it was
No,
a
like
Fleck.
like Affleck. That's how you pronounce it.
Ah, well. All right. Well, you knew the movie.
I don't think I'm even familiar with the movie.
All right. Whatever.
A flag.
Oh, it's got the best like monologue of all time
the
in
cool
it.
girl monologue.
I knew
That's
it.
a scripture. There's the cool girl monologue. Then there's Patrick Bateman's American Psycho monologue, and then I don't know what other monologue.
Love
he
that
popped.
monologue.
Some
Yeah.
shit from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I don't know.
I don't know. Color Purple, maybe.
American Psycho's kind of like American Psycho's like Gone Girl for dudes.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No,
really
that's Gone
is.
Girl. That's Gone Girl for girls.
Yeah.
American Psycho. Oh my God. Nah. Well, maybe yes, but in what angle are you going at? Because you do know. Well, you probably do know. I'm about to mansplain. Okay, sorry. I'm about to go on a fucking autistic tangent right now. But the book American Psycho was written by Bret Easton Ellis, right? As to satirize the yuppie culture, toxic masculinity. So then it was adapted by women into the movie. So is it really for dudes if you're taking it in the Sigma surface level way? But if you were to really watch it, it's making fun of all that.
I don't know. I always watched it as like a comedy film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny, and people would get all bent out of shape. Like, hey, you fucking chainsawed a girl to death in the stairs. It's
That's the point.
It's
Yes.
not. It's not about that. It's about the. Why don't you get a job?
Yeah.
That's my way of saying
Killing
it
homeless
is-
people.
That's Bone.
That's Bone. I love that scene. That's
You-
one of my
if-
favorite scenes.
If you watch it as a serious movie, yeah, you just think
wow, this guy's crazy.
this guy's a dick. But
It's for the girls.
It's a comedy
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
I love it.
Probably watch it tonight.
Hell yeah.
Probably turn it up on after the pod.
That shimmy he does, fucking walking
Yes.
over to what's his name.
He's splashing the water on the woman, and then he just gets all serious really quick. Movie fucking rocks.
It does rock. It does rock. Yeah. I just think it's very cool that it was originally written by a gay man, and now the movie, they're going to revisit it with Luca Guadagnino. Is that how you pronounce it? He did, Call Me By Your Name, Challengers. Have you seen those movies?
I think I've seen Challengers.
Yeah. So he did that movie, and he does a lot of queer movies. So I think it's very cool that it started, through the lens of a gay man, and now it's gonna be revisited through the lens of a gay man. Very cool to me. Very cool.
It's awesome.
Very cool.
Can I say something? There's you said this earlier. You said not to get all autistic, but and then you just described something that you're into. Being into something, it doesn't make you autistic.
I went on a tangent that wasn't appropriate for the social situation. We came here to talk about comedy.
No,
and
we
I
came here to
decided-
talk about anything. We talked about Rock and Roll Ralph. I didn't expect to be talking about Rock and Roll Ralph.
You're right.
You're allowed to like things. You know what, though? I am glad that people who like trains, that's the stereotype. Oh, if he likes trains, he's autistic. It's I love airplanes. I'm so glad it's not the airplanes.
Dude, do you want the rainbow puzzle piece? I think you earned it. You love airplanes. This might complete your puzzle.
I love airplanes. I love them. But it's funny that somehow trains are fucking sick.
Trains are fun.
Trains rock.
Trains are really cool.
I had some model trains growing up.
Have you been to the train museum over by the zoo?
No, I
They
didn't
got
know
a
there
bunch
was
of-
one.
There's it's a free outdoor train museum. They've got 6 or 8 locomotives.
Oh, like that zoo,
Yeah.
Griffith Park Zoo.
Yeah.
No, I've driven past it on the 5 a bunch. I think I've seen it.
It's a lot of fun. I was there last week.
I'd like to check that out. I know we went to the Reagan Museum, saw the old Air Force One, Reagan's Air Force One,
Oh yeah.
and Space Shuttle Endeavour down close to downtown. You ever seen a space shuttle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Endeavour, Discovery,
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
We've weirdly seen 3 space shuttles.
We have seen 3 space shuttles, and then what's that other one we saw?
Challenger.
Challenger. We saw Challenger.
No,
What?
No, you
We,
didn't.
actually, we couldn't have seen that.
I'm pretty sure we saw Challenger.
I don't think so.
What happened to Challenger?
So bad things, I think.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to Challenger stuff?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Pretty sure we saw
Dude,
Challenger.
I remember I wore a spacesuit one time. This was the first Drunk New Jokes I ever went to. I put on a spacesuit because the costume was just the theme was just to dress up, be crazy. Aldous wasn't going to be there. So I was Mom's not home. Let's go crazy. So I wore a spacesuit in the audience. But I felt really insecure. And I was is this how the astronauts felt on the Challenger mission? Just I do not feel
I'm so
adequate.
embarrassed. Embarrassing. I just got blown to bits. Those astronauts bombed for sure.
Oh!
They bombed.
Oh my lord.
You know, it's hard to look back at their walk out to the space shuttle, and yeah, they were walking pretty confident.
Like, you know in Monsters Inc. when they're like walking in the gang, like she thought it was fun.
Our new neighbors love you guys.
I'm killing.
I just imagine they're at the wall like doing this.
They're like Steph and Elise are in.
Is that the bombing podcast? Holy shit, we didn't know. We just moved in next to them.
Dude, I'll be here all night. It's a new flashback.
They just moved in. We met. I know that we met at Badger.
Yep.
Did you ever go to Badger?
I did, yes. It was my. So I took like a year-long break from stand-up because I went through some shit. But I went through like a year-long break with stand-up, and then a couple months. I don't think this is a coincidence, but like a couple months before I dumped my boyfriend, I got back into stand-up, and I was really starting to gain a lot of confidence. But the first open mic back was at Badger and Jam, and I remember I didn't know the parking situation, so I walked up that big-ass Crescent Height hill.
Oh.
I know. It was like kind of fun. I walked, and I got there, and I did the mic, and I was like, I think this was the wrong one to start back up at.
It's a bad one?
It's just such a janky little venue.
Yeah.
It was funny. And then my second open mic since then was at Badger. And there was 4 people. Max Kestenbaum, this other dude, another guy, and then Luke Robert.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Sounds right.
It was so interesting. So interesting. I haven't been to the mic since that one. That's where I first saw Luke Robert. But
How'd Luke do that night in front of 3 other people?
I thought that he was just like really not in it because he's like, I'm not doing material. Like, I didn't know that was a thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, this guy, like, he's floating like a butterfly, stinging like a butterfly. I'm like, what is going on? But I'm like, I really do like it. I love it. I like wore a Barbie shirt. He like did a riff off of that. I felt kind of like famous in that moment. And then later I kept seeing him perform in like other like venues, and I was like, oh, that's just him?
Yeah. He's a chaos artist.
I loved it.
Look at this lady here with Barbie shirt.
What the hell, Barbie? What even is that? You know, we come across some of the most insane human beings of all time. And to wrangle that many different personalities to get everybody to a place on time and then do a show, it's fucking must be incredible.
It's a miracle comedy shows even happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, I know. But we've created such like a cool community where it's so like everyone's just a text away. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I love it. Like I think about it so much. I love the little community. Not the little at this point. Like it's getting pretty big.
It's getting big. I
love the community we've built. Like I don't think anybody else in the comedy scene is doing it quite like our crew is doing it. Not to say that we're the like you know
totally.
what I mean?
No, yeah, there's different friend groups of people that are all doing their own stuff, and then it's coming up at different rates.
We have a very unique approach because I feel like with stand-up, typically it's very individualistic. You know what I mean? Very self-focused. But I feel like with Flashback, like if Sean or Mason were to make it, I feel like because of that, I would make it too, just because of the entourage that we have.
Yeah, everyone's bringing everybody else up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels really
nice.
cool.
Yeah, we're all coming up together at this thing. Yeah, it's not one person makes it and goodbye. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's not the way to think about it.
And I know that's not how well, maybe some people operate that way, but like I know with the crew that we have right now, even when things have been going good, like everyone is getting a piece of the pie.
Of course.
Which I think is great because I feel like I don't know, and I'm about to get a little silly right now, but like since coming just out of the pandemic, I think people saw just how isolating life really can be. So there's nothing more joyful than to achieve something with the help of friends. Like there is nothing more fulfilling. Like it feels so refreshing. Like it was missing, you know what I mean?
You know, I wouldn't want to come up alone.
Exactly.
What's the fun in that?
Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Like that shit gets lonely when you're up top, but there's no reason why it has to be that way.
No, not at all. And it's so fun going to everyone's shows and the more shows we do, the better at comedy we all get, and you get to see people get better at comedy and do better at bigger shows and go into each other's. You know, you help me, I'll help you. There's a come up there. We have been going to a lot of comedy shows recently. I will admit. This is something we've talked about recently. It's like, I'm going broke going to these fucking comedy shows.
No, yeah.
So, and it was fine when it was, you know, the ticket was $5 at Boulevard or whatever. But now it's like,
People, our buddies are getting into clubs now.
Yeah.
And it's a $19 bottle of water, and we're like,
No, yeah.
yeah, $27 ticket at the Improv. That luckily we both got in free, but
Really?
yeah.
Okay, because I had the chance to do that, and I was like, I didn't know if for your show if that would have helped or hurt your case. Like, I didn't know if they're looking for seats, if they're looking for ticket sales.
Bro, they didn't even count the fucking bringers.
They don't count bringers.
So
at
what's the
Improv.
point of even bringing people? They didn't even count it.
They don't count.
I don't know. It was cool seeing Elise debut at the
No,
Improv.
of course. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
That was neat.
It was awesome.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
But I did have a chance to go in for free that night, and I didn't.
Yep, and then it's the $27 ticket with the 2-drink minimum. The water's
Well-
14 or whatever.
The bartender, she was like, "What do you want to drink?" And I was like, "I'll just take a Diet Coke." And then I get it, and I try to hand her my card, and she just goes,
Oh, that's
and I
nice.
was like, you know what? Maybe karma had its little moment right there.
That's good.
It was a little,
All came full circle.
karma had its kiss. Mwah.
One for me, one for you.
Yeah.
Meow.
Buy the ticket. Get a free Diet Coke.
We have an email, don't we?
We do have an email.
An email?
Yeah, we check an email at the end of every podcast, and you know, people that watch, they send in their questions.
Please feel free to email the podcast anytime you want. We check them at the end of every episode.
bombingpodcast@gmail.com. And so I guess we'll see if we have any emails.
I'm going
this
to
week.
check the email.
Any emails?
All right, and
I have bad news.
fuck.
No emails.
There's 0 emails.
Fucking Hillary.
What
God
the hell,
damn it.
dude?
it was Hill Dog's fault. That's right.
What the fuck?
That bitch.
How come no one ever emails us? What are we
Man.
doing wrong?
See, I think, have you done, like, talked about how there's no emails on the pod, or do you just cut it when there's no emails?
No, yeah, no. When we get no emails, this is in. Like this is in. We often talk about, wow, awesome. Again, no more emails.
Because I've watched the pod, and I feel like maybe this is just the point when I click off. I'm like, oh, there's no emails.
Now we make fun of ourselves for being big losers and
Well,
not getting emails.
Now I'm gonna start sending emails.
Please.
Yeah,
It's
please
anonymous
do.
too, so we won't name names.
No, I'll put names.
Okay.
I'll be like, love Steph.
Make put that in there. Make say my name,
Say my
because we never any email we get we don't say who it's from.
Yeah. Or just go like meow.
Yeah.
meow.
Just say that. Elise,
Well-
Elise is asleep.
I am asleep. I'm so sorry. I
It's
do
all right.
feel bad.
Hey, no, thank you so much for coming here straight from work. I know that was a big ask, but I'm so glad we got you both on.
I know this was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Rock Bottom podcast. Thanks you so much for coming on.
Episode 120.
Woo.
Yeah.
Woo!
Elise, do you have any shows coming up? I know you got one at Flappers.
Yeah.
I got Flappers on Saturday. That's the only one on my books right now.
All right.
I have Wag Me this Friday.
Wag
Misha
Me?
booked one of my bringers, so if any of you guys want to come,
What the hell?
come and be one of my bringers on Friday, and then the 26th, Low Hanging Fruit's actually at the Hotel Cafe now, so I'm
That's
gonna be
big.
doing that.
We were talking with Dante just the other night about that.
Dude, he fucked my shit up. He used the craziest photo of me on that poster. I look coked out.
It's so hard to get good stand-up photos too. It's
if he
it's rough.
asked me for one.
Yeah.
But it does capture my essence. Like me and Scott Stewart next to each other on that poster, and I'm like, yeah, that's my.
Both your
That's my boy.
both your energies kind of match up.
Yeah.
Then Ryan's got a show next Wednesday.
I have a show next Wednesday. I'm not wearing my glasses. At Fourth Wall.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday at
Yeah.
Fourth Wall, the cafe just down the street. I'm doing 10 minutes. I'm the headliner. So
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah.
I'll be there.
that'll be fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm a bum. I got nothing coming up. I killed so hard at the Improv last night that everyone's intimidated.
That's
by
facts. I heard that.
My comedy prowess.
I heard that.
They're not booking me. But that'll probably change.
That'll for sure change.
Not between now and the pod coming out. But
When is the next Rock Bottom show?
January.
Yeah. Early January. It's in the works. Potentially working on some merch.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
We'll see.
Well, I'm telling you, it's unlike any other stand-up show. that you've seen.
Because it's run by women.
That's right. That's right. It's so intimate and so vulnerable and fun just to see stories. You mentioned earlier, you were like, no one bombed, which is true, but I think it's hard to bomb when you're just being you telling a story rather than you like almost doing a bit, like you're like doing comedy. You're almost a guy who's doing comedy rather than just being you up there telling a vulnerable story.
Yeah, and the audience recognized that, and they were very gracious with it. They had like a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Because it was different than a regular stand-up show.
Dude, Sean and Mason, well, I let them, because our show was, we were at an hour and a half, which I was so proud of in terms of show running. We were at an hour and a half. But part of it was because I let Sean and Mason run the light so long.
That's story.
They did a double set. I saw that.
That shit was 12 minutes, but I was like, I'll let them cook. In fact, I'll let them burn.
And they didn't even finish the fucking story.
They have to wrap up part 2 the next show.
I know. I realized I said that, and I was like, that means we like have to find time to book them on the lineup.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I think maybe they should sit down and practice the story and actually complete it within the time length you're given.
Yeah.
Because that was wild, dude.
Well, that's the thing. We can't talk about the story right now.
Of course not. No,
Like,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No details, because you have to come and see.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and it was one of those shows where, like, you know, when you're at a show and it's running too long and the host gets up and they're like, all right, guys, 4 more comics left. You guys ready? And you're like, oh, my God, 4 more fucking comics? This show, Rock Bottom, was like, I was like so willing to hear everybody else's stories because it was just so crazy.
I don't know if it's just because I was like I don't know if it was because I was putting on the show, but I didn't want it to end. Like, I was like, oh, man, like, we got 1 more left.
Yeah.
What the heck?
I wanted to go around the room and, like, listen to other people. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted everyone to get up and share their stories. It was awesome.
Well, you can find out at Rock Bottom 2 in January.
That's right.
Ladies.
You're sleepy.
She's gone. Okay, we got to get out of here.
Then you're all right. Thank you so much again for being on Rock Bottom 2 in January. Check it out. Email the podcast,
please,
or be a dumb loser and don't.
You are a dumb loser if you don't email.
Yeah.
By the way,
episode 120.
That's it. See you next week. Good night. Thank you guys.
Mwah. Meow.
Meow.
Ooh, that was fun.
That was a great episode.
That was fun. I really can't believe I never knew it was rock and roll Ralphs.
Now you know.
Like I said, you're about to have a